what it actually is there's a few different things that happen after a contest prep and after a competition. The first one is, and I guess this is probably most generalizes like post-comp quote unquote blues, is the anticlimax that's associated with any like big event, you know, like you've experienced it in other parts of your life, right? You have this big celebration of sorts or this big milestone of sorts, and then you've got this massive rush of excitement and happiness and bliss, and then the event is over, and then you have like this anticlimax, you know, and you kind of feel like down in the dumps a little bit. The same thing happens with a competition. And the reason for it is primarily dopamine, right? Is because you have this consistent stream of dopamine as you're progressing towards a particular goal, and in this case, a competition. You're progressing towards, you know, being on stage. You can see the progress week on week, and the hormonal and psychological hormonal reward for that is dopamine, because you can see the progress. And then you have the big climax, the show that you compete in, and you're up on stage, and a massive rush of dopamine, and then it drops off, and then there's no real dopamine release. And that is really what causes the sadness, really, the anticlimax, the quote unquote blues that most people experience. But that's not the only thing. Because the other thing that you experience after a contest prep and after a show is you might have prepped for 12 weeks, maybe 16 weeks, maybe 20 weeks. And I've mentioned the progress, right? You're progressing, you're losing body fat, you're looking good, you're making progress in the gym, you're heading towards that goal of the stage. And then after the show, it starts slipping away, right? You start putting on a little bit more body fat, you know, your motivation levels aren't as high, there's no real, you know, end goal for a lot of people. And so at the same time, as you're experiencing the anticlimax as a result of the drop in dopamine, you're watching all of this work that you put in over the last 20 weeks start to slip away. So that has a negative psychological feedback loop as well. At the same time, you're dealing with raging hunger hormones because you've been in a caloric deficit for 20 weeks, right? And so now you start reintroducing food back in, and your hormones like your ghrelin, for example, hunger hormones, are telling you to like eat everything all at once because you've effectively been starving your body for 3 months, 4 months, 5 months. So you're battling against these raging hunger hormones. And then from a hormonal perspective, you've got like a rebalancing of hormones that's just associated with being really, really lean, right? Usually females struggle with this a lot more than men do.